I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas.
Hello everyone, Uncle Charles Wallingford back with another video, and I want to tell you briefly, this is brief, this is not going to hit on all the points, this video would be just way too long. I wanted to tell you why I am a Republican conservative with this color skin. Any other subject matter, no one would bat an eye, but it's sadly unusual for somebody that has my skin color and my facial features and whatever else you want to associate to what people will call black or minority. This is the only thing that people look back like, whoa, what are you doing? And so-called people who are black conservatives. I always will say so-called. I don't like the term black. That's a whole nother video. I haven't done it yet. Maybe I'll have it out now. Maybe it'll be out in the future. I hate the term black. Long story. We'll get tiny into that in this video. But it is something that you're not supposed to be, and I wasn't. I was not conservative younger. But the thing is, that's actually natural. That happens a lot. A lot of times when you're younger, you're conservative. When you're younger, you're conservative. By the way, you see this bracelet on me. This is not, I know I shouldn't be going into this, but I can't help but to let you know, I'm just using these things right here. So don't get it confused. I'm not wearing this for fashion reasons. I'm outside in a place that is riddled with mosquitoes. But anyway, back to what I'm saying. It's a natural thing. It's a natural phenomenon to people, for people as they get older to become more conservative. But it happened, it got accelerated with other outside things. So what I was going to tell you is it's natural for you to, it's a change in your whole life once you get potty trained as a baby. A lot of things open up once you get potty trained, or once you walk, then you get potty trained. Then you go to kindergarten for the first time. Mom cries. Then you ride a bike for the first time without training wheels. The whole neighborhood opens up. Life changes. Then when you get your first job, got your own money, and then you go out on your own. Life changes drastically. But once you have a child, it just is a complete and utter change in how you have to view the world, because now you are completely and utterly responsible for another life. You're completely and utterly responsible for another life, and you naturally will think conservatively. You may not call yourself a conservative. You are conservative. You think differently about the way you spend your money. You think about the future of your money a whole lot. You think conservatively about the people you're around. The first place I end up having my own place on my own completely, when I was in the military, I had my own place with my wife. That was nothing like the neighborhood I used to live in, not even this neighborhood that I used to live in previously. I would not want to put kids in that neighborhood at all, at all. But I didn't have kids. So I was just married. It's just me and the wife. It was fine. But again, money in taxes, and how you have to give so much money away to taxes, you start paying attention. Like, okay, you're taking this much money from me. Where is it going? What is it actually going to? And you get a little bit conservative. You start thinking about that stuff. Now, on paper, you may not change into being a conservative Republican, but you're picking up things that are Republican wise, especially for those of you who are religious. Sorry, Democrats don't really care about religion. Religion is not on their that's not on their radar, pretty much at all. Especially today. Especially today. I'm not very religious, but being conservative, being Republican, you can't help but to be around religious people. And then it's the history of the Republican Party versus the Democratic Party. One of the biggest things that black people hold on to, so-called black people hold on to so much is how awful slavery was. Very well. How awful was slavery? All right. So who was responsible for slavery? Who wanted to keep slavery around? Who wanted to stop slavery? That was the Republicans who wanted to stop slavery. It was the Republicans as a whole wanted to stop slavery. Where the KKK? What affiliation did they have? It wasn't Republicans. President Lincoln, what was he? Republican. And then people will say it just switched out of nowhere. Maybe it switched, or maybe it didn't switch. Maybe the Republicans have always been exactly who they say they were, and the Democrats changed who they said they were. Now, here's another thing, and we'll talk about this briefly. When I was younger, I had two things in life that I got help guide me. Main things guided me. One thing, because I had such I'm going to say the word hatred for my father. I was really, really mad at my father for years. I didn't talk to my father for years. I would look at a certain situation and say, would my father do this? And I would do the opposite. Also, on that same note, I was so pro-black and trying to be anti-racism and everything else that my whole goal was, would a white person like me doing X? Would a racist white person like me doing X? And I would put myself in a position so that I could piss off some racist white person. By doing that, constantly doing that, I found out and found that most of my pushback were from other so-called black people. That's who pushed me back more than anything else. But as I was going through and saying, okay, I'm going to be in this space, I'm going to be in this space, I'm going to do exactly what you don't want me to do, I found less and less opposition, especially when it came to being around Republicans. I'm like, ha, you don't want me here, do you, Republican? They were like, yeah, I don't care. Do you like this? Yeah, I like this. Do you want this to happen? Yeah, I want that to happen. Me too. That's what I felt. That's what came to me when I start getting real serious about wanting the opposite of what those racist people want. And then come to find out, that's exactly what the racist white person didn't want me to be. He didn't want me to be a Republican. The few times I did run into racist white people, they didn't want me to be a Republican. So that's a whole nother video. We'll talk about that on another time, but that's another reason why I'm a Republican, registered Republican, conservative. Now, I will tell you this. I am not lock in step. I am not bug. I am not a Republican to death and dishonor or whatever kind of cliche thing. I am loyal to my country, my family, and people who are loyal to me, and things that are loyal to me. All right. I will not vote for a Republican because it's a Republican. I will not. The first time I ever gave to a organization for a political organization or a political uh, person was Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard was the first and only so far time I've ever given to a candidate of any type that was running for anything. She was running for in the Democratic president. That was the only time. And I will, if she ran, if she was to run and make it to the end, I would vote for her over most of the Republicans I see out now. However, those aren't my choices. She wasn't my choice. I only choose who is worth voting for. I don't care. I care about the bottom line. It's just Democrats tend to have less things that kept me afloat all this time and kept me in this direction that I've been going in successfully, despite a lot of the odds that were stacked against me. I will also say in Maryland, where I live, you can't just be an independent. It's counterproductive to be an independent because you cannot vote in any preliminary lower elections as a independent. You have to be either a Democrat or a Republican to get those preliminary uh, voting done, the preliminary voting done. So if you're independent, which I very well could be, you're not you're not getting your word out. And that's the big thing for me. I want to be heard. I work too hard. I tried my best to be a good person. I want my voice to be heard in the country that, for the most part, allows your voice to be heard. Guys, that's sort of it. That's just a piece of why I am conservative and why I am a Republican. I don't have to be anything that I don't want to be. And I am very comfortable being who I am because this country allows you to be who you are for the most part. Ladies and gentlemen, if you feel anything close to what I am, or you're a young man that is so-called black or any other minority, you're not by yourself. You are not by yourself. That's one of the biggest reasons for me to do this video. You're not alone. Other people think like you. And if they don't, it's okay. My wife is not a Republican, and we have been married for 22 years. And the fact that we are been different parties. She's no longer, but she has been a Democrat. I've been a Republican as just as long as she's been a Democrat. And we've been together fine. So don't let anything else discourage you from it. Say you just like, hey, I just can't do this. Or I can't marry that type of person. No, don't do that. Don't do that either. All right, that's enough for this. That's enough for this video. I hope this opened your eyes up a little bit. Maybe you go searching for even more. You're not alone, like I said. I'm Uncle Charles Wallingford. I'm here to help.